The tragic story of the biggest hip-hop star that never was. How the Jim Jones and Max B beef ruined what could have been possibly the most promising career in New York since 50 Cent. In the mid-2000s, 2004 to be exact, the world of hip-hop was still being led by New York, with groups like G-Unit, The Lox, and the Diplomats being in the forefront. The grasp Dipset had on the hip-hop scene was strong and continuing to rise. By 2005, Dipset were the hottest thing on the streets of America, mainly due to the vision and leadership of Cameron, with Joel Santana and Jim Jones following suit. Jim Jones was always the third option of the group, but was always well respected by fans due to his gritty, rugged rap style, Harlem swag, slick way of talking, and seemed to have a mystical gangster persona that followed him due to him being in the background. But the dynamic of Jim being third in the group would change when Harlem rapper Max B was released out of jail in the summer of 2005. Max B was incarcerated from 1997 to 2005, at the time Dipset were making and made a name for themselves while he was incarcerated. Max B began taking the idea of being a serious rapper when he seen and heard his neighborhood friends Cameron and the Diplomats have success in the hip-hop world. He developed his unique sing-song rap flows in jail, and also developed his larger-than-life persona of Max Biggavelli while incarcerated. He had hundreds of songs ready to record and was ready to step in the hip-hop scene as soon as he was released. He was released from jail in June of 2005. In days of being released, Max B went into a friend's studio and recorded his demo tape of some songs he has written in jail. He then went to his childhood friend Cameron in hopes of being signed to him, but Cameron turned it down, saying he just didn't see the vision with Max B's style being too different from what he had going on. Jim Jones got the word that Max B was out of jail and was looking to be signed. Jim Jones got a hold of the demo and was quickly sold on the idea. Jim Jones was scheduled to release his second album that very summer and was expecting to do decent numbers due to the success of Dipset. But he knew he was missing something to stand out and take his rap career to the next level. Max B was the answer. Jim Jones had Max B in the studio every day with him. With the help of Max B, he was able to create his first hit songs, with songs like Baby Girl and G's Up. Within a few weeks of being released from prison, Max B was featured on 3 songs on Jim Jones' album. The album was considered a hit in the streets and was also well received by music critics. It was now off to the races for Jim Jones and Max B. Jim Jones knew he had something with Max B. His rap career was now being taken serious and was on par with Cameron and Joel Santana. With Jim Jones now catching fire, he kept his foot on the gas and kept cranking music with Max B. He was looking to expand and maybe start his own group while still being under the Dipset banner. He then signed another New York talented young rapper, Stack Bundles, and formed byrdgang. In 2006, Jim Jones released his third album, Hustler's Poem. Hustler's Poem was a massive success and had the #1 hit with the song We Fly High. The rumor was it was ghost-written by Max B and Stack Bundles, but that's neither here or there. With Hustler's Poem's success, not only was Jim Jones the biggest artist in Dipset, he was now the biggest artist in New York and possibly the nation. Jim Jones was in high demand, and the money began to roll in. This was the beginning of what would lead to their beef. With Jim Jones now at the top of the game, Max B, who was known to be his mastermind behind these hit songs, continued to put in long hours in the studio in hopes that it would be his time to shine, or at the very least get some of the money he thought he was owed due to the work he put in. But Jim Jones had different plans. Jim Jones wanted to push out his byrdgang label instead of Max B the solo artist, and Max B continued to play his part. Max B saw the money and recognition Jim Jones was getting while he was struggling to make ends meet. This is when Max B made a fatal decision that would change the course of his promising career. It is alleged that Max B's girlfriend at the time was dating a man who was known to carry a large amount of cash on him. Max B was alleged to come up with a plot to have his girlfriend set the man up and have his stepbrother go in and rob him for the money. The alleged story is the man was at a motel in Fort Lee, New Jersey with $30,000 in a briefcase. The plan was for Max B's girlfriend to have him tied up and the stepbrother go in the room and rob him of the money. Unfortunately, the plan went awry when the man claimed he didn't have the cash on him. Max B's stepbrother supposedly shot the man in the head and ended up killing the man instantly. Max B's girlfriend and stepbrother then fled the scene. Max B was arrested for the crime a few weeks later. He was charged with conspiracy to murder and had a $2 million bail. It should be noted that Max B was never at the crime scene and only planned to rob the man and not kill him. Max B sat in jail for 8 months while Jim Jones continued to enjoy the success of being the hottest rapper in the game. While Max B was in jail, Jim Jones released the byrdgang mixtape, which featured Max B in nearly every song and Max B being the star of the tape. The mixtape was the hottest thing on the streets and is considered to be one of the best mixtapes of all time by fans. Even though Max B is in jail, his music and popularity was at an all-time high along with Jim Jones and byrdgang. But a tragic blow would soon strike byrdgang once again as the now next in line star, Stack Bundles, was fatally shot outside of his project apartments. Jim Jones now had his 2 young stars gone, one in jail, the other deceased. With his 2 stars missing, he decided to bail Max B out of jail and put up the bail money, but only if Max agreed to sell his publishing over to Jim Jones. Max B agreed, and he is now out of jail, but Jim Jones legally owns all of his music. This is where it is said that their relationship would now take another deeper dive. Max B was grateful to be out of jail and eager to get back in the music scene, with his name being at an all-time high and his ball still being at the top of the rap game. He knew he was up against the clock, and he knew it was a possibility he would have to go back to jail for a long time once his trial started and ended. But things quickly began to sour as Jim Jones kept putting out byrdgang songs and solo songs, while Max B was still putting in long hours in the studios with nothing to show for it. Rumblings and speculations began to come out that Max B and Jim Jones are not seeing eye to eye. Max B began to distance himself and do solo albums and songs. By then, the Dipset fans were turning from Jim Jones fans into Max B fans as Max B's charismatic character was starting to blossom. By the beginning of 2008, about 6 months since Jim Jones bailed Max B out, the rumors were no longer rumors as Max B will put out interviews saying he is no longer Dipset. This was now officially the end of Max B affiliation with Jim Jones and byrdgang. It was the beginning of the end for Jim Jones' era. You can also possibly say even the Dipset era, as Jim Jones and Max B were the hottest Dipset artists out at the time. But it was the beginning of the legend of Max B. Keep in mind, at the time, most hip-hop fans weren't aware of this or even aware of Max B in general because Jim Jones kept Max B under wraps. This is when Max B's story starts to take off and he shows the magnitude of how big of a star he could have been if given the proper push. Max B then would shock New York rap fans by full-on dissing Jim Jones with disrespectful records like She Touched It in Miami and I'ma Do Me. Max B was still signed to Jim Jones while dissing him, and Jim Jones basically had complete control of Max B's career, so this wouldn't seem as a smart idea. With not being able to release any albums, radio songs, or anything mainstream without the Jim Jones signing off, Max B capitalized on the internet. He was one of the very first hip-hop artists to use the internet to showcase his talents. Yes, even before Soulja Boy. Regularly putting out videos on MySpace, YouTube, and WorldstarR. Not only were his songs very unique with his fearless attitude of being a gangster rapper that was constantly singing in a high-pitched voice, but his over-the-top online interviews is also what captured his fans. By the summer of 2008, 1 year after being bailed out by Jim Jones, Max B had released hundreds of songs, dozens of mixtapes, and hours of vlogs and interviews, which unfortunately for Jim Jones was mostly dissing him. Max B was officially the hottest artist in New York. He had fans all around the world and artists all around the world wanting to work with him, including Mac Miller, Rick Ross, Nicki Minaj, Jadakiss, Styles P, Currency, and so on. It is truly remarkable that he was able to do this due to the fact that he was blackballed and not allowed any radio play or commercial sales. By 2009, Max B's trial was on the way. Max B was still gaining popularity as him and his protege French Montana were dropping music every month. By the summer of 2009, his trial was over with and he was found guilty and was sentenced to 75 years in prison. The wave was officially over, or at least for the time. Since then, his sentence was officially reduced from 75 years to 20 years after winning an appeal in 2006 on the account of conflict of interest by his lawyer at the time. In conclusion, this is a story of how two egos just couldn't coexist in order to possibly have the best outcome for each other. Jim Jones knows the talent and stardom Max B was capable of, but his drive to be the man and stay the man is what hurt him in the long run. After being the third choice in his group and he finally became the lead man, he didn't want to let the spotlight go. When you hear the influence Max B has on the game, Jim Jones could have been a billionaire like Birdman. Max B was the first mumble rapper. Young Thug's Lifestyle is considered to be the first mainstream mumble song if you listen to it. It is basically a Max B hook. Young Thug is a big fan of Max B just like many other rappers. Max B made it cool to harmonize. You can even say Drake is a pop-polished version of Max B with his sing-rap style. In fact, Jim Jones will tell you that himself. But Jim Jones is not only to blame. It takes two to tango, and Max B played a big part of his career not taking off where it should have. Jim Jones was the one that gave Max a chance and provided the opportunity. Max B's drive to be the man can also be to blame. With a little more patience and gratitude, he could have found the right situation to take off. But who knows, the drive to be the man is also what made the character Biggavelli. I mean, many rappers have tried to duplicate, but there is only one Biggavelli. Ow. Stay wavy, my people.
What's going on, guys? I feel there's a lot of things I left out in the video. I just want to cover real quick. I try my best not to be biased. I feel like I ended up still being a little biased. Truth be told, we can't deny Jim Jones' impact on the game and the influence he had on Max B. Like, Jim Jones was a swagful motherfucker. You can't deny that shit. He definitely guided Max in developing his character and all that. Just, taught him the ways and all that. But it's crazy to me, like, to this day, the legend of Max B still grows. Like, he still gains new fans every day. He's been locked up for, 15 years almost? And, like, we seen him mentioned on Jimmy Kimmel and freaking Kanye have him on his album and all that shit. And, all these new rappers, they're not new no more, like A Boogie and them. They talk about how much Max B influenced them. And like, yo, Max B, he got me through high school. Like, that was my guy. That's all I used to listen to and shit. Develop my swag too, I ain't gonna lie. Like, motherfuckers tell me, like, yo, you a cool ass motherfucker. Max B has something to do with that. That was my first video. I got plenty more coming out. I'm gonna try to, shit, if it's up to me, I'll drop a video every day on different topics. I decided to go with this one because it's just something I have a lot of knowledge about. So that was my first one. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna just keep getting better. Let me know what you think, what you like, what you didn't like. Show love, show hate, comment, subscribe. Like I'm saying, I'm gonna try to drop as much videos as possible as on a whole bunch of subjects, like different topics. History, science, UFC, music. Just stay wavy, man. We out here. Out.